We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Another installment of the American Fan podcast, the Fletcher and Nick show. Today is Sunday. We always do our Sunday thing. And yesterday, on Saturday, we had an amazing time.
Yes, we sure did.
Going to see Mr. Dave Smith.
And Robbie the Fire Bernstein perform at Hilarities in Cleveland, Ohio.
One of our ultimate podcasters, the ones we look up to. Dave is just a tremendous human being. Super cool dude. And
very funny and very, very well informed and very well read, and got a very good outsider that kind of represents people like us that aren't particularly fond of our government and what they've lied us into. So
several times. In fact, many, many, many times.
Yeah, and that one of the things that they lied us into is one of our topics of the day, which is Trump and his connection to the Epstein scandal.
Holy Lord. That is a loaded gun. It is crazy.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty of things...
But before that, we definitely want to talk about Dave Smith. We had a great time last night.
Yeah.
Tell the audience, basically where we went, what happened, and how much you liked the show.
Well, we went to Hilarities again in Cleveland. If you guys have been to... From what Dave has said, it's one of their favorite locations. He and Robbie's.
And the audience should know it was your first time.
It was my first time ever being in a comedy club.
You've never been.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you'd have the courtesy to go down to Hilarities at some point. So,
absolutely.
Inside Joe, Douglas Murray.
Yeah,
total
which Dave did reference in the show, which I appreciate. And I actually said if Robbie and Dave didn't reference the Epstein scandal at all, I would have said we're getting up and walking out. What was the first thing they joked about? It was the first thing both of them. They didn't perform together, but it was some guy. I feel bad for forgetting his name because he started the whole thing, but he was good. The guy who started the act, and then Robbie came in.
Yes.
And then
I forget that guy's name.
I hate that I forgot it because
name.
He did fairly well for an opening.
He was great.
Act.
He was great.
I was like, this is good and all that. And then Robbie was really good. It was nice to actually meet. By the way, Robbie, shout out to you. By the way, I also got their shirt. You guys probably can't see. If you were to zoom in, maybe you could, but it's POTP, which is their podcast, Part of the Problem. You should check them out sometime.
What a great plug for a different podcast on this podcast.
Well,
again, 30 people watching it. Great.
Well, again,
it's another 30 people, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. Without that pod, I gotta tell you, I don't know if I actually would have gotten the idea, or we would have gotten the idea of making this show.
Yeah.
Without Dave Smith, without PBD,
right.
Without Tim Pool and the Young Turks,
regardless of size of audience or conjecture, we just wanted to talk about stuff in the open.
And that's
where the inspiration came from. Part of it came from Dave Smith.
And keep in mind, this guy right here, he was into Dave Smith when I didn't know about him other than his name popped up at one point. He said, dude, Dave Smith did this. He went on Joe Rogan. I just kind of went, oh, well, okay. And what I really got into him was his debate with Chris Cuomo, the former... what do you call him? Not chairman, just a former anchor at CNN. Is that what you would call him?
He was a former anchor, for sure.
Yeah, he was a former anchor at CNN. And their debate on COVID and the vaccine mandates and the lockdowns and everything, what a phenomenal debate.
On PBD's show.
On PBD's show,
that's a great thing to check out. Even though it happened a while ago, if you Google or on YouTube, Dave Smith, Chris Cuomo, PBD, Patrick Bet David.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's an all-time classic.
It's one of my favorite debates I've ever watched in my life. And once I saw that, I was like, I gotta check out Dave Smith. And surely enough, I've been a subscriber ever since. And I used to only agree with him half the time. I'm like, you know what, man, this and that, whatever. But I'm like, now I sound a lot like him in regards to his worldview, disregarding like his views on Judaism, not Israel, because he's the last person who would support Israel. I'm not saying he supports the other side in regards to that conflict, but he's just saying, hey, I'm a Jew. Actually, I think he said, when people say he's a Jew hater or something like that, I think he said, I don't want to misquote him. Dave, forgive me if I misquote you. But I think he said on the Joe Rogan podcast when he debated Douglas Murray, whenever he watched it, I think he actually said he descended from Jewish heritage, from people who were actually victims of the Holocaust. Like, I think his ancestors were legitimately victims.
Oh, that's accurate.
I think he actually descended from those people. So if there's anyone who
you didn't misquote him,
yeah, I don't think he. If anyone's a Jew hater, I think Dave Smith's the last person to hate the Jews, like everyone accuses him.
He's
of.
Jewish.
Yes, and he's Jewish culture. Like he says, they live their lives Jewish. He doesn't believe in God the same way like you and I would. But still,
it's what everybody should do with every aspect of life. Dave Smith is completely open-minded to factual information, and it formed his opinion on what's going on in Israel, Gaza. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. And he even said, he'll even defend some people who would probably go to the extreme of being, saying that Israel shouldn't even exist. And he'll be like, okay, man, you need to chill out a little bit. By the way, myself included, and again, I'm for non-interventionists. I'm just like him, but we should go the Ron Paulian way of non-interventionalists, like America first, and if we're going to help other countries, why don't we take care of our freaking debts first before we decide to send billions and trillions of dollars to other entities?
Dave is one of the reasons why I've kind of migrated, or it's kind of like watering a plant. I kind of have been migrating towards libertarian principality ideology.
Yeah.
The way the libertarian thinks towards issues is, as I get older, I'm kind of migrating and going in that direction. Not saying full-fledged, still a registered independent, but
I'll always be an independent.
I definitely have my problems lately. I mean, obviously for some time with the Democratic side, but the conservative side is disappointing me, and we could be here all day talking about.
Honestly, we could probably be here for
the last just 2 weeks. The conservative side is disappointing,
which is something it's funny how people will say that again, and I've mentioned this on I think another episode, that people will say I'm just some right winger because I voted for Donald Trump in the last election, but then there are people who will call me a liberal. I'm not kidding you on this, Fletch. I was literally called this by 2 different people.
Really?
Now, no. Get this. I've been called a liberal because I said I'm anti-pornography.
What?
Because I'm anti-pornography, I am a liberal.
By the way, we'll differ on that particular issue, but that's a debate for another day.
Hey guys, stay tuned. Now there's 2 debates you have to watch out for. I'm going to debate my friend.
I have no problem with pornography. I'm not saying watch it. I'm not saying do it. But if people want to do their own thing in the privacy of their own home, well, that's their prerogative.
Okay, that's a different. It's
kind of a different story.
That's a different story. That's why I say I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. And I don't support what people do. And there are certain things that just are not going to be tolerated. But look, if you're behind your doors and you're both consenting adults and you want to live a homosexual lifestyle, whatever, if you ask me, Nick or Fletch, do you support? I'm going to say, no, I don't. I don't support that. But will I say that would I pass legislation that says you should be arrested for it? No.
No, not in the privacy of your
There's
own
common
home.
sense, middle ground type of things. Now, if you say we should legalize 15-year-olds getting married, I'm going to say that's a hard no.
No, Alan Dershowitz, no. That's not a good idea. You guys know that guy actually tried to get legislation. He's pushing for the 14-year-old.
Yeah, that lawyer.
That's his threshold.
I can't believe he actually said he wants to legalize.
It should be legal consent. The age of legal consent. So when that guy goes on different podcasts, much more popular than this one,
like Piers Morgan or Jillian Michaels. He was on Jillian Michaels' podcast a few months ago.
We're just having fun, but I mean, when a guy like that goes on there and they're like, "Oh, the esteemed Alan Dershowitz," and that guy's a scumbag. I'll say it.
I don't care
for defamation. I can have an opinion on it. What are you going to take? You going to take my barn from me, you could come and have it.
Yeah, what
it's 1,000 degrees in here 90% of the time. Today's a good day though.
It is a good day. We're not burning
wearing
up or
regular
anything.
T-shirts. This is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yeah,
but
scumbag.
Yeah,
you know.
I'll just say this right now. I don't care who you are, Christian, Muslim, atheist, left, right, center. I don't care what background you come from. The second you tell me 14-year-olds should get married, you lose me.
Yeah.
Just gonna say that now.
You're in that whole category that I call scumbags.
You fall under that umbrella.
I have no patience, or I have no tolerance for people like that. That's just weird.
If a 14-year-old,
how can you look at a little kid and say that's attractive? That's just weird.
If a 14-year-old can't vote, they can't purchase cigarettes, they can't buy alcohol, they can't drink alcohol, they can't even go into the military. I'm sorry, they
you're not getting married.
No.
Is that a mind blower? Not for me. That's just like common sense, man.
That's why I don't even agree with, like, I can't believe some states, I believe Ohio, correct me if I'm wrong, legislation has passed, Fletcher. I believe even in our state, like, isn't the age of consent like 16?
I hope not, but I
remember
think,
at least a decade
think
ago.
There are states out there. I don't know if Ohio. We'll check into that.
I just swear
that's something I'll definitely Google.
We'll have to fact check for like a future episode.
Yeah.
But if I'm mistaken,
that would make me kind of sick.
I think I heard it like 10 years, not 10 years. I think it was like 13 years ago. Where at one point when I was in high school, I think like some people, like they said it's like normal, but I think I did hear people say like, yeah, the legal age is 16 years old, and I'm like, huh?
That's so sick. Anyways, back to Dave. I mean, we had a great time last night.
Yes, he was really funny.
Tell everybody what you liked about the show. We'll give Dave some time because he's such like a rock star in terms of
he absolutely is a rock star.
Our opinion about him, but I mean, he's just a good dude.
Yeah,
and I don't mind at all giving somebody like that some extra time in our show. Granted, the limited viewership, it doesn't matter. I mean, tell everybody how good the show was and like what they talked about.
Our seating was very nice. It was pretty up front.
Oh
it wasn't
God.
like
we had the best seats in the house.
We probably did, honestly.
No, honest to God, we did.
Yeah, I think so the venue. Now, granted, I don't know the standard for comedy shows, but from what you told me, Fletch, that you've been to different comedy shows.
Yeah.
You said
across the country.
Across the country. And didn't you say like now? I know what Dave said. I don't know what you'll say. He said it's one of his favorites. Where on your comedy show, like venues? Where is that on your list?
Right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Hilarities is in the top 3 for sure.
It's in the top 3 for you? Wow, that's pretty high praise.
I haven't been to any comedy clubs on the West Coast though. So in Texas has a due to Rogan has a huge boom in like the comedy scene. So I plan on the next couple of years making my way out to Austin, go to Rogan's club. But it's a great club. It's a great vibe in there, right or wrong.
Yeah.
The actual building is super cool. We just had a great time. Dave Smith talked about
a fun time,
personal things, but he rocked out for the first, I'd say, 10-15 minutes on Trump, and it was hilarious.
I was actually like, I've never heard jokes about Trump where I'm like literally like grabbing my stomach for how much he was making me laugh. Like, I watched his comedy show, I forget where it was, I'm blanking on it, but I watched like a 30-minute I think he only did like a 30-minute comedy routine on it was from 2023, but it was recommended. I looked it up. It was fine. I was watching. I'm like, okay, this was pretty good, but it wasn't like anything spectacular.
Right.
So I was like, it's probably going to be that way for this show. No, he did not hold back. He had all of the jokes about men, the jokes about Trump, the jokes about Biden, Harris, women, like everything. He was not. He was not.
I've seen enough comedy shows in my lifetime that the mark of a great comedian is that you don't have to stick on one topic to be funny. And Dave was able to go every which way in each direction. And if you remember the very first act, we forget his name, he was good, for a time, but then he tried to go in different directions and he lost the audience. You could see that was a young comic trying to find himself.
I
right?
will say that is what happened.
And you see the disparity when you go to an experienced comic, somebody that really commands the attention in a very. What Dave is able to do is what Chris Rock is able to do. He's able to command your attention, make you laugh hard, but he does it in such a nonchalant way. You know who's the best at that is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle does that. He's very nonchalant.
I watched one.
Very low key, but you're laughing till your stomach hurts. Smith did that last night.
Yes,
that was the key to his awesome performance.
He did a very good job of transitioning his topics in his comedy show and stuff. So like I said, the venue was very nice. We had good seats. It's like, imagine like we're right here right now. We'd probably be where our recording set is here right now.
Right there.
Like actually, I would say about like what would you say, 15 feet away from where. Yeah. The stage was
15 feet,
15, 20 feet, something like that.
18 feet away from Dave.
So yeah, Dave. So Dave, if you were walking down that stairway as you were heading to the stage, and you were like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like you looked to your right, that was me. So
there was only one guy. He's walking to the stage, and all of a sudden Nick goes, "Hey, Dave!" Like Dave Smith actually turns to him.
He's like,
gives him a thumbs up. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Like, he's just holding his beer and everything.
Hilarious. Because
I was like a fanboy. I'm like
a
Bruce Willis for the first time.
Everybody else is just clapping as he's walking, and then all of a sudden you hear this, Dave. Dude, that was.
What can I say, guys? I'm a big nerd.
Yeah. That's all right. That's not being a nerd. That's being a fan.
Well,
that's having fun. In my book, it's what we did last night.
Yeah, this is very true. And I wasn't going to do anything else. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect Robbie to give me a fist bump before he was about to go up. It just kind of went that way. Like, he looked and he's like, "What's up?" And like, it just kind of led that way. I was like, "Hey, Robbie." I was like, "Hey, Robbie." And
it happened very naturally.
It was
that. It was his dude Robbie too. He took some pictures with Robbie. That was cool.
Yes. You'll see that on my Twitter page. So I'm going to be shouting out the show and not just their podcast, but just the performance they give and their merch that they sell. You know what I wish I would have done? I wish I had gotten their other merch that says, "Have you ever bean?" Like what was it saying? Beans.
It was
sauce.
It was a play on Heinz ketchup.
Yeah, Heinz ketchup, but it was beans instead of Heinz or something like that.
Instead of Heinz, it said Dave's "Have you ever beans?" It was hilarious. It's a great shirt. I should have bought that shirt. I just didn't have any money on me.
I would have gotten it for you, but
it's all right. It's no worries. We'll conclude with that. Any final comments on that?
I gotta say,
Dave Smith experience.
I have a new appreciation for. Excuse me. Don't you just love it when you bite yourself? Yeah, that's not a fun time. That was not planned.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's exactly why we do the show. Yeah. I have no idea what the hell just happened. But my co-host is eating himself. Like, what's going on here?
That's my confession. I've been eating myself, guys. But anyway, I have a new appreciation for comedy venues. Hilarities, you were great. Dave, you were great. Robbie, you were great. And now my girlfriend, who did join us, she actually said she wants to go to another one later this year because she said it was good. And
we'll find another comedian and definitely go.
And by the way, Dave, when you come to Cleveland,
so much fun to go because when she laughs hard. Morgan has one of those laughs like my nephew Richie. If you watch this, and my nephew Ryan, both of my nephews have what I call memorable laughs. Their laughs are contagious.
Are they?
They make you start laughing. Morgan has that.
She
has
very much does.
Where you start laughing uncontrollably. So yeah.
But by the way, Dave, when you and or Robbie come back to Cleveland next year, you can count on us being there. So good job on the merch, good job on the performance, and guys, check out Part of the Problem and the other podcast that Robbie the Fire hosts. Run Your Mouth. Check out Part of the Problem. Check out Run Your Mouth. And there you go.
Yeah, we'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm going to go take a potty break. I know everybody wanted to know that. And then we're going to talk about we're gonna do either a little Epstein or a little John Wick. You want to talk about dichotomy and the difference in two different topics? That's kind of crazy, but the Epstein thing is so it just blows your mind. Some of the information.
I found out a little bit of the information that he found out, and I gotta tell you,
it's kind of disgusting. Like, yeah,
to a whole other level that makes me see the two parties completely like they're like the same person. It's like, you guys know that meme from. Did you watch The Office or you didn't watch The Office?
A little bit, yeah,
a little bit.
A little bit.
Do you happen to know the joke of like when one of the characters, Creed, went up to Pam and was like, "Do you see the difference between these two pictures?" Do you know that scene or no?
I don't remember that scene. But
okay, so
I do remember the character Creed doing something creepy to Pam multiple times. So.
Okay, well, this wasn't particularly creepy. I mean, you're not wrong, but this was particularly creepy. But basically, he hands her two pictures of the outside of the office building. It was like, hey, can't you see the difference in these two photos? And they literally look the same, whatever. But as soon as she goes, oh, yeah, like, yes, I absolutely do. And then it segues into the interview section. They're the same thing. And whatever, that's how I look at the Democrats and Republicans. Like, hey Nick, do you see a difference between these two guys?
That's
I'm like,
a good point.
They're the same thing.
I think it was George Wallace. He was a famous politician in the 70s. He used to say there's not a dime's worth of difference between a Democrat and a Republican. And he used to tell people that. He goes, you'll find out in the future.
Well, look at right here, right now.
How true is that in present day world, present day culture?
Absolutely unbelievable.
It's crazy. But we'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go do a little potty break, and then we'll talk some Epstein, have some.
We
fun.
did not need to know that once again. You already told us the first time, and
I'm just saying, I'm in a good mood. My barn's not 1,000 degrees, so it's a good day.
It is a pretty nice relaxing. It actually does. Kind of feels a little cool in here.
Dude, it feels fantastic. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna take it because.
Dude, I'm telling you this right now. If this is the way it is gonna be like all winter or something like that, you'll see us in our winter gear, and we'll knock out 2 episodes a week. Like,
yeah, no, it's much more pleasant today. The last time was a tank top episode,
and that was.
I needed a shower after we.
Same here, and I had just showered earlier that day. I hate taking 2 showers in a day.
Horrible in here. It was so funny.
Unbelievable.
All right, we'll go.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next part. All right.
All right, great.